Hello and welcome back to another episode of Buy Now Sell Now Realty TV. I'm Jeff Barnes, owner and managing broker of Buy Now Sell Now Realty here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Now, guys, before we get into this, make sure you get down in the description. My email is below if you have any questions on real estate in general, real estate in the state of Florida, of course. As well as in the description is a link that you can get a free home value tool, whether the house you want to sell or the house you want to buy. Always go into these real estate transactions with a good idea of what the market is saying, your home is worth or the home you want to buy is worth. It's a very important tool. That's why all the real estate agents have it on their page, but completely free. And it gives you the knowledge that you need. Now, guys, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and share it with all your family and friends who may need some real estate advice. This week, I'm back on the buy side, the home buy side. The top 5 things you need to do for a successful Airbnb. The top 5 things for a successful Airbnb. Now, one of the things you guys, man, I get calls all the time. Shout out to the people who send me the topics that you want me to talk about. So I just hit record and we're going to make sure that if you need it, somebody else may need it too. And guys, I got this call about Airbnbs and I said, let's talk about it, right? Now, what does that mean, guys? What does that mean? Airbnb is a business. If you're going to try to do a side hustle and all this kind of stuff, guys, it's going to eat you up and spit you out. Okay. Airbnb is a legitimate business and you better know what you're doing. Vrbo, all that stuff. When you decide you want to become a landlord right now, it is a big deal. You want to be a tourist. You want to be a tourism company, short-term rental company, all that good stuff, guys. I'm just telling y'all right now how it works. Now, let me do this real fast. I'm going to give you guys my 5 things that you got to do. We're going to jump right into this. And then I'm going to share with you an article that I saw just to reiterate my point so you guys can see this one lady's perspective on an Airbnb or Vrbo. Now, guys, if you want to do it, I'm encouraging you to do it. I'm not encouraging you not to do it. I'm encouraging you to do it. But as a real estate broker and somebody who's kind of seen the positives from it, where people make a killing, and when somebody's lost everything, I'm just going to tell you what I believe the best practices are for Airbnb from a broker's perspective and the 5 things that you need to make it work. First thing, guys, you need to have a cluster of homes. You got to start with a 5 property plan minimum. If you want to get into Airbnb, you want to have a 5 property plan, preferably in the same area of town. Because when people go to buy, go look at an Airbnb, they're going to look in a certain area. You want to have multiple properties in that area. So for example, I live in Tampa. If somebody comes in here for an Airbnb and they want to be in Seminole Heights, I need to have multiple properties in Seminole Heights. Not one property in Seminole Heights, not one property in West Chase, not one property on Bayshore, not one property in Hyde Park, not one property in Lutz. What a lot of people don't realize is you got to cluster your properties. You got to cluster your properties. Why am I saying that to you guys? If I go book a hotel and I need to go to Orlando, it's going to say, what part of Orlando do you want to go to? Man, I need to be near the convention center. Boom, here's all the properties they have near the convention center. You have to think like a hotel owner, okay? So my point to you guys is get with an agent, find 5 properties that you can cluster together, that you can have synergy off of in order to make your Airbnb business profitable. And then make sure, guys, that they're different price. Some have more amenities than the other, right? That's what you want to see. Because if you do that, people want to see options when they come. But if you only got one property in the arena and they don't like that property, what else are you going to do? And that's what I like, guys, is have some smaller ones, have some mid-sized ones, and have some larger ones. But you got to have a minimum of a 5 property plan in one area in order for this to work. Number two. Oh, by the way, on the first one, I'm saying cluster homes, and if they're multifamily duplexes or something like that, that works even better too, guys. Number 2, this is gonna be crazy, and people gonna say, Jeff, why did you put this number 2? I want you to hire a commercial housekeeping service. a commercial housekeeping service. Why, guys? Commercial housekeeping services are more apt to clean faster and have bigger crews. Okay, get people who clean commercial buildings. They've seen the worst of the worst, right? Residential cleaners are good. Residential housekeepers are good. But if you get commercial cleaners, guys, they typically have more people. They typically have seen the worst of the worst. They gonna get in there, get out quick. Because most of the time commercial cleaners clean after hours and they clean overnight. So they know how to get in, get out, get off. Hire you a commercial housekeeper, because if people come in and that place is spotless, don't have residential come in. Okay, because a lot of residential people are doing side hustle stuff. Commercial cleaners are not that way, guys. They're gonna be really licensed and bonded at a higher level. That way, if they do something wrong, you got more to go after if it comes down to that. But they're gonna get in, they're gonna get out, they're gonna see things that most of these residential people won't see. Give them what you want them to clean. They got more of a crew that if you run into something and need an emergency to come through and clean it, you got somebody you can call. Number three, guys. Number three, make sure you get a good CPA. Because the only reason you're doing Airbnb is to make money off of real estate. Well, in order to keep your money off of real estate, your CPA is going to have to tap into those real estate tax benefits that come along with renting property, guys. Get you a good CPA. You know how many people, don't have a good CPA when it comes to Airbnb, and they're missing out on a lot of the benefits of owning these residential properties that you're getting rental income from, and all the tax benefits associated with it. I'm not a CPA, but what I can tell you guys is, and I can't talk about it on this platform because I'm really not giving out that type of advice, but there's numerous tax benefits to being in real estate already. And secondly, guys, there's definitely even more benefits of being a landlord and renting out properties to people. And even though it's short-term rentals, right? Even though it's short-term rentals, guys, just know there's still a lot of benefits with Airbnb. Um, and one of the things, guys, when I talk to you about the first one, the cluster of homes, I'm looking at my notes right here. When I talk to you about the cluster of homes, you also want to make sure that those homes, try to stay away from HOAs as much as possible, because a lot of HOAs are going to have a lot of terms and conditions. So I want to make sure I put that out there too. Try to stay away from HOAs if you want to be Airbnb. But if you do have to be an HOA, just follow the rules that they say. It's going to be a little bit more prohibitive because they're trying to keep the neighborhood up. But HOAs are not friendly to Vrbos and Airbnbs now. And just know your neighbor's going to snitch. The neighbor's going to snitch. So don't try to do it without that. So guess what we got first? Cluster homes, single family or multifamily, a commercial house cleaner, a commercial housekeeper, right? Anybody who does commercial cleaning, you hire them. Get in, get out, get off. A good CPA for the real estate tax deduction. Number four, a good contractor slash maintenance guy. A good contractor slash maintenance guy. You need a guy that's going to help you flip these properties, fix these properties, and get these properties ready to market. Typically, the contractor and the maintenance guy may be the same guy. And if he's not the same guy, he can coordinate getting you what you need. Guys, don't shy away from this. If you got to do anything yourself when you're getting to the Airbnb business, it's going to fail. It's going to fail because you're charging a premium, but you also got to pay a premium sometime to make sure you have a system in place when these people call. Guys, a lot of things that's really, you got to remember, guys, Airbnb people have the expectations of a hotel. So if something breaks at the hotel, you better get somebody who's going to get out of bed for you, right? That if something breaks at a hotel, they send somebody up right away. Well, you better send somebody over right away too. And a good contractor and maintenance guy who has a 24-hour program for maintenance guys, that's what you need. But you also need a contractor to help you flip these properties, get them up ready to speak, get them up and ready to live in, basically. Get it through the permitting process if it's not already. Because most of the time, the Airbnb properties, guys, you got to do some repairs. You got to get some permits and all that. Need a licensed contractor, but you also need a maintenance guy. The licensed contractor and maintenance guy can be one and the same. Because what you need is somebody you can call who can coordinate. Because Airbnb, guys, if it's not passive income, you don't want to be a part of it. Everything, your price should include You just making a call, not you doing the physical labor. Remember that. And that's why a good contractor and maintenance guy. And when they charge you, that's when you got to make sure you're charging it appropriately with your properties. And that goes back to number one with having a cluster of properties, guys. That's really what it comes down to. Last one, guys, you need a property manager. You need a property manager. And that property manager has to be a 24-hour person. And that property manager has to make sure somebody's on call with your properties all the time. Remember, guys, if I go to a hotel, they're going to have a general manager. They're going to have a day manager, a night manager, right? Food and beverage manager. All these things, you're basically running your own hotel business. If you're getting in Airbnb to just make a quick buck, you're going to lose it all. But if you say that I have a passion for hospitality and I'm in the hotel business, I need a property manager that can manage all of my properties. This is why you got to have clusters of properties. Because see, if you only got one property, you ain't gonna be able to afford all this. It ain't gonna make financial sense. This is why you got to have 5 clustered properties, because the property manager can now, you got 5 properties in one location paying that one bill. Same thing with your contractor, same thing with your CPA, same thing with your commercial housekeeper. If they don't have to ride all over town, it's going to save you money. So the minimum of 5 are paying one bill. Okay. So that every home ain't going to break at the same time, but you're going to have that one issue where you have to end up doing this, guys. So I was going to share an article, guys, but I don't think I have to. And I really don't want to keep you too long, because the horror stories are out there. So I'm telling you right now, have a property manager. And if you really want to take it to the next level, guys, if you really want to have the next level, have somebody who can offer concierge service with food and beverage. If you do all of this, guys, because you got to have your daily cleaning service, every hotel that's worth its salt going to have a room service, going to have a restaurant. Make sure if you want to add a bonus, have a concierge service that can take care of food and beverage requests, right? As well as tourism requests. These people are coming into your Airbnb. Book certain things for them in the city. Create an experience manager. But a property manager can help you develop all of this, guys. So let's just recap. Okay? Cluster of properties. Commercial cleaners for your housekeepers. A good CPA to make sure you're maximizing tax deductions. And a contractor/maintenance guy. And then a property manager. Those are the 5 things. If you don't want to do those 5 things, guys, I would highly encourage you to do another type of business, because Airbnb is a business. Airbnb is competing against hotels. If you don't see yourself as competing against hotels, you probably do not want to do this. But if you do, make sure you implement these 5 tips, and I can guarantee you're going to be on your way to success. Once again, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Buy Now, Sell Now Realty TV. Get down in the description. If you got any questions, hit me up on the email. Also, if you want to know what that home is worth that you're trying to buy or sell, click on that link for the free property valuation, guys. So take care. Make it a great week. And until next week, man, talk to you soon.